What happens when you record a podcast interview and the guest audio turns out kind of bad? This is what we're talking about in today's video because there was a recent interview that I did and I had to clean up the audio in Hindenburg Journalist. This is my audio software that I used for editing my podcast, and I want to show you behind the scenes what I did to make my guest audio sound a lot better. So let's get right to it. Hey y'all, Crystal here today, and we are talking about muting audio in Hindenburg. Now, Hindenburg Journalist is the audio software that I use for recording and editing my podcast, and I don't do a ton of videos whenever I do my editing because it's usually early in the morning, and I recorded this video early in the morning. So I look like a hot mess, but you know, it's for content's sake that I recorded this video. Just remember that. But I wanted to show you what happens whenever the audio doesn't turn out great and how you can fix it, whether it's a background noise or, you know, oftentimes people will have construction going on in the background. You can't always eliminate it completely, but if you're dealing with multiple tracks and you want to have the guest audio muted so it doesn't interfere with the entire segment or the entire episode, then this is what you need to do to mute the audio in Hindenburg. Let's go to the computer and I'm going to show you how it's done. Okay, I am up early doing some video and audio editing, and I wanted to just share a little bit about how I edit things visually before I actually get into the audio. I mean, I know I have these headphones on, but I'm actually not using them at the moment because I'm looking at the actual audio to see, well, what can I already be prepared to clean up just to make things sound just a little bit better. So I can tell this is an interview. Here is my introduction to the podcast. And then here is my podcast main theme, as you can see. And then on the top is my audio and below is my guest audio. Now, what I can see right off the bat, like if you were to look at these, what's the difference? I can tell that there is some audio in between here that I'm going to have to clean up. And these up here, these little spikes in between, like she is talking right here, these spikes on this end are typically me laughing. Maybe it's a mouth noise, maybe it's something, but it's she's talking. I shouldn't be making any noise, but I have a tendency to laugh whenever other people are talking or giggle. And so I will listen to those, but decide point by point if I should leave it in or not. And then right here, I can tell, well, she must have said something right here to have this big spike. But whenever I listen back to all this, I'm going to zoom out, and all I'm doing is hitting the little rolly button on my mouse, and it allows me to zoom out, but you could do it right up here as well. But now you can see like, oh, that happens between, you know, every single time that she's talking. So it could be a few different things. It could be that it's her air conditioning. It could be that there's a fan on in the room, or it could just be that's how her microphone records. So these are things that you can't typically hear whenever you're recording, but you notice it later, and a lot of people freak out. There's no need to freak out. If you use Hindenburg, I know how, I'm going to show you how to do this here, but let me scroll to a place where there's lots of, right here. Do you see if there's not like a bunch of, like over here, you have spikes, these little baby mini spikes? Well, here you don't have that. So I know I just need to mute all of this noise, and you can do that in Hindenburg, which is amazing. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to wait till I get the eye cursor. And then I can highlight all of this, but I don't want it to mute this up here because that's when I'm talking, right? And that's a big reason why I don't cut things in unless there's a really big mistake. Then I'll cut things. But right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute this right here. So you can go up to edit and go to mute. But you see it edited the top and the bottom. So that's not what I want to do. I don't want where it's all grayed out. That means that it will literally go to complete silence at that point. So I don't want that to happen. So let me go back. Let me undo it. And sometimes it's just a matter of how you select the audio. So I zoom back in And now, oh, it has those split. So I zoom back in, and now I'm going to select here. And then do you see what happened there? I could point up here, or I could point up here, but you can select the different audio tracks, and I just want the bottom one selected. So I'm going to go back up to edit, and I'm going to click, oh, it says it's muted still. Now it's muted. So I'm going to unmute it. I want you to see what it looks like when it's not muted. Okay, you see how it's orange, bright orange? I'm going to go back down. It says unmute, but it's actually muting it whenever you do that because it's grayed out, or, you know, it's faded out. That is what it looks like whenever you mute something. And then now whenever I play this, you will just hear my audio. Even if she has weird noises in the background, you typically don't hear those things whenever someone is speaking. But if you do hear them when they're, you know, you're speaking or another person is like, has the floor, and you can see on their audio, like, well, this person should be talking. And you see that there is like wavelengths, wavelines, and you're like, wait, they're not talking. Why is that there? Then you can just mute it. Well, I hope you found today's video helpful. Make sure you hit the thumbs up if you did, and subscribe below. That way you don't miss our future videos all about content creation and running your online business. Make sure you check out these other videos right here that can help you on your journey. It's my favorite tips, tools, strategies, and all the things content creation. And as always, remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.